Hey girl, hey. So today I'm going to be reviewing a self-help book, which is one of my favorite kind of books, so I hope you're excited. And I hope to make this a series on my channel. If you're into that, like this video and leave a comment and let me know what other books you're interested in hearing about to help yourself, you know what I'm saying? But today we are going to be talking about Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. If you know anything about the self-help world, you know Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is kind of the mastermind behind all self-help books there are, and he writes really thick ones, and he's been writing them for like over 20 years or something crazy. So he's definitely a good one to look into if you're interested in this genre. Basically, Awaken the Giant Within, this was originally written in 1990. It was published in 2003 in paperback. So it's been a while since this was published, almost 20 years. But basically, the little blurb here, part of the title says, how to take immediate control of your mental, emotional, physical, and financial destiny. So basically, this is a guide to living your best life and being as successful as you can by taking control of your thoughts and emotions, and how we're genuinely just ruled by our thoughts and emotions, and that kind of dictates the way that our life goes. This is not so much a spiritual book. He doesn't really talk about manifestation or the law of attraction or, you know, the universe in any way. He does talk about religion slightly, like a little bit, like I think a section was dedicated to religion, and really all he said was to be open-minded about it. And he goes to a different denomination of church like every month. He's not one religion, he just believes in being religious and spiritual in general. But overall, this book does not come off as a spiritual book. So if you're not into that and any of like the universal law of attraction, good thinking, positive thoughts, if you're not into that kind of thing, this is a good book to look into, because this is pretty much just him discussing all of the psychological tricks he's learned over his many years of research and the different tools that he's picked up that has led him to be successful like he is, and ways that you can be as well, no matter what your interests are, no matter what kind of business you're starting or whatever it is you're trying to do. These are tips that can be used for everything to be successful and to be positive and have positive things happen to you. I really like this book because it's very hands-on. There's lots of activities throughout it. I could give you an example. He will introduce a section and then he'll have you like circle things in it and write down your own examples and your own thoughts about it and stuff like that. He'll give you a tip or an action to do in order to fix a part of yourself that's holding you back, and he'll actually give you the space to fill out what your top priorities are as a human, or like stuff like that. Anything like that, he has in here space for you to fill out. So he has, and he'll also give you examples, so you're not sitting there like, I don't know, what are, you know, different traits or habits that people have? Like, how would I know an example of that? He'll have examples in here. So like over here, I didn't do this, but he has like a page for empowering beliefs and disempowering beliefs. I didn't think I had enough room on here, so I just did it in a notebook myself, but he always gives you space for it himself, which I really like and I really enjoy, because sometimes different self-help authors will say, this is happening because of this and you have to fix it this way, and then they'll just leave it at that and maybe give you an example, but they won't give you the opportunity to do it yourself. And I feel like the more hands-on you are with your self-help knowledge and your readings and stuff like that, the more useful it'll be and the more it'll stick in your brain. He also uses a lot of examples for his teachings based on very well-known successful people who have used it and are doing it currently, which I really appreciate. Like, he talks about himself a lot, which is great because he is such a successful person, icon in our society. But he also talks about Albert Einstein. He talks about different people he's met in his seminars. He just talks about a lot of average everyday people, or people that you know, very well-known stars in our society, and talks about how they've used his ways of life really, and how that has improved their life and given them such a positive outcome. This book was written a while ago. It was published in 2003, but as you're reading it, you honestly don't know that it was written such a long time ago. There's really no indication in the entire book. It's so timeless that you can read this at any point in your life, any year it is. This book will still make sense and still be applicable. This is also a very motivational book. I love books that motivate me when I read them, that make me want to just jump up and do all the things that I want to do, because I have so much motivation, so much power in myself, so much confidence, and that's exactly what this book does. It gives you all these skills and tips and tricks, and you just want to use them instantly. Like, I read this, it took me a long time to read this, but every single time I read it, I was just ready to take on the day, I was ready to take on the week, I was just ready to go, and I definitely gained control over myself and my emotions, and I allowed myself to feel the way I wanted to without any outside conflicts. Like, something would happen and I would know how to feel okay about it within myself without instantly freaking out. Throughout this book, there are a lot of endnotes, footnotes, that kind of distract you from reading it. So they're kind of distracting, but they are full of references and material that he thinks is relevant to what he's saying, that it's either something written by someone else or it's work by him, but in a different form or a different book or something else. But like I said, this was written a long time ago, so I'm not sure if all of these resources still exist. Like, he has a lot of actual, like, physical telephone numbers written down for different resources, and I don't know if those are still active. I didn't really look into them that much yet, but I feel like I did tab a lot of the things that I want to look into further, so I will be doing that eventually one day. And I think it's interesting that it's in here, but sometimes it does take away from the work, and it is really annoying at times because it is a lot of his work that he's shouting out. So it almost feels like the entire book is an ad for other work by Tony Robbins, which, I mean, it didn't bother me a ton, but it just kept happening that I felt like I had to talk about it because it definitely got aggravating, but it wasn't enough to really bring it down completely. Like, I only took off 1 star in general for that, and for something else as well that I'll get into, but it wasn't horrible, but it definitely, like, if you're not a footnote person, it probably will annoy you. But yes, overall, I would say this is very accessible, very easy to follow, and it has really good tips in it in order to take control of your life and emotions and your mental state in general. It leaves you with a lot of skills that I feel everybody should really have in their tool belt, and after reading it, you're kind of just like, wow, I never thought about that, but like, it's really easy to be happy and to just have a happy life. You really don't need much. Yes, having success and having money and all those things are great, but this really just opens your eyes to the fact that, like, it's not always necessary. As long as you're happy, you're happy. It doesn't matter what you have. I genuinely think that this is one of the books that changed my life. I would say I learned a lot from this, and I was very much moved as a person. I feel like I want to make a video about books that have changed my life. I don't know if that is something you guys are interested in. It's not gonna be all self-help books. It's gonna be a few self-help books, a few books that, like, have just genuinely changed my mind about something or changed the kind of person I am, or made me think about something in a different way for the rest of my life, kind of thing. So I might do a video like that. Leave a comment in the description if you're interested in a video like that. If you're not, I'm not offended. I still might make it, but I'm not offended. So I'll let you know if that happens. And yeah, just overall, this is a prime example of why I love self-help books. I love just the way they change your brain, the things that they make you think about. In general, this was really good, and I highly recommend it for people of all ages, all life situations. I think it's really helpful. That's pretty much all I have to say. I really enjoyed that book. I found it at, like, Savers for like $2 or something. So you can really, it's very accessible. I know they have them at all homeless shelters, all prisons. This book is available everywhere because it's helpful. That's what it is. And I really hope you guys can all get your hands on it. Thank you so much for watching.